Well, hello, a big welcome to our distinguished guests and to all in the sustainable finance community, including our valued members, to the wide set of sustainable finance experts engaging globally and leaders from the UN. We're very pleased to be hosting our third UNEP Regional Roundtable for Asia Pacific, this time for the first time in virtual form. Thank you to our headline partners, DB Insurance, and to our gold sponsors, RepRisk. So this time, 2 years ago, we were in Shanghai together for the second edition, and the years since have been challenging for so many people, for so many communities and industries. What's clear is that the finance sector has stepped up and helped keep the economy functioning, working closely with governments, with businesses and society. Now, whilst we deal with two pressing global threats head on, COVID-19 and the evolving climate crisis, the deadline to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals is also fast approaching. The Asia Pacific region in particular is at risk of not achieving any of the 17 SDGs by 2030, enhancing sustainable financing strategies and investments while transforming the financial system, both at regional and country levels, will be critical to direct much needed capital towards sustainable development outcomes. Now, while countries in the region have made some significant progress, they're still facing several challenges, including in terms of developing the much needed human capacities in-house that are needed, and also in terms of creating the supportive enabling environments that we need to operate. 16 financial regulators in Asia Pacific are members of NGFS, the Central Banks and Supervisors Network on Greening the Financial System, and 7 countries in the region, including China, Japan, and Korea, have made net zero climate emissions commitments. So this really is truly a year of climate action, and the financial community is reacting to our call. 25 of the world's largest 100 investors have set net zero commitments. And just now in April, UNEP with 43 of the world's leading banks have launched the UN-convened Net Zero Banking Alliance. Now this joins the already established Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance, which has 40 members, and both are growing by the day. And we also have 7 large insurers who are working on launching a Net Zero Insurers Alliance later this year. So this means that banks, insurers, and investors are committing to making their operations and their portfolios carbon neutral by 2050, and very importantly, with immediate milestone reduction targets already this decade. As UNEP, we are mandated to deliver on the UN Environment Programme agenda to facilitate actions that support the Paris Agreement and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, whether through our industry frameworks, including the Principles of Responsible Banking and for Sustainable Insurance, or also through our thematic work, such as in the area of climate change and ecosystem loss. In addition, as a means of driving convergence across industries and topics, UNEP works to mainstream impact analysis and management in business and finance as a cornerstone to financing the SDGs. Tomorrow, we're going to see the launch of a new impact analysis tools for investment in real estate, which have been designed to help the financial sector and businesses analyze and manage their positive and negative impacts across the 3 dimensions of sustainable development, that being economic, environmental, and social. Now, looking beyond climate, the businesses that we finance, invest in, and insure depend on nature and biodiversity. The world's oceans, forests, and lands provide much of the raw materials, goods, and services which underpin the global economy. The Asia-Pacific region contains 17 of the 36 global biodiversity hotspots and 7 of the 17 megadiverse countries. The biodiversity of the Asia-Pacific region is important for providing food, water, energy, and health security, as well, of course, of cultural and spiritual fulfillment to all 4.5 billion inhabitants. A case in point is the ocean or blue economy, and an area of important economic growth, which needs to be managed responsibly to ensure improvement of livelihoods and environmental sustainability. Now, the contribution of ocean-based sectors is significant to the economic growth of the region, especially to some of the island nations. It's estimated that nearly 37% of aquatic and semi-aquatic species are threatened in the Asia Pacific. The worsening state of ocean health, coupled with the devastating economic impact of COVID-19, highlights together the importance of redirecting investments towards our oceans. This starts with properly accounting for the value of natural capital embodied in our seas. Later this year, we look forward to the Convention on Biological Diversity, COP, which is the Conference of Parties, to be held in Kunming, China, which we hope will be a Paris moment for biodiversity and will help adopt an ambitious and transformative post-2020 global biodiversity framework. Now, we're going to hear from Elizabeth Marema, who's the Executive Secretary who leads this process, who will be providing us with insights into what we can expect on this important moment for nature, biodiversity, and the oceans. Now, a whole ecosystem of net zero and biodiversity commitments, targets, and actions from the financial sector does appear to be blossoming. But what we need crucially is to ensure the integrity of financial sector actions. We are encouraged by the giant leap forward financial institutions have taken, and we really look forward to working together in helping accelerate this transition. I wish you all a good and successful event, and thank you for your commitment.